So we have had a lot of information drop today. It was a lot. I'm not going to lie. Whether it be the balancing, the new exotics, the new gear, the exotic balancing, the new season journey, the new everything. So what I'm going to do in today's video, in this video, is I'm going to hone in on one of these details, and then we're just going to try to get through all of this information together. Okay? So in this particular video, this one, we're going to try to hone in on just the seasonal modifiers, because I keep getting people saying, seasonal modifiers? What is this? What do you mean modifiers? Is this going to break this? Is it going to do this? What is this all about? And I just want to first answer some FAQs, some frequently asked questions. And then I'm going to show you everything the devs said and showed about the modifiers. And then I'm going to read to you the patch notes part of the modifiers only. We're just going to hone in on the modifiers, because starting tomorrow during the PTS, I can test all of this and show you firsthand. So let's first get all of that out of the way, and then we'll have some fun during that PTS. So here we go. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikaze Von Doom here with another Division 2 video. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. And, well, finally, shout out where you're from. It's always cool to see where everyone's from. Now, in today's video, we are just going to be talking about the seasonal modifiers. So you know, on all of your characters, right, you can see here on your shoulder, you have this little piece of tech, right, with your little shade circle there for Isaac, your little piece of gear there on your shoulder. Well, starting tomorrow during the PTS, and for all of us in the game, starting next month, as soon as the next season starts, we are all going to be able to customize our Isaac brick, our shoulder piece. We will be able to customize it and fit it to our whatever, our own play style for that season. It will change every season. That's why these are seasonal modifiers. It's not just game modifiers. It will change every single season. So what the developers wanted to say is, with this season, it will be all based off of range. So you might get more damage, take more damage, what have you, based off of the range you are from the enemies. So the frequently asked questions that I keep getting, and I'll knock that out, and then we'll go ahead and jump into all of the details and show you all of the cool stuff that we're going to be able to do. Okay? There will be no seasonal characters. Okay? They removed that idea completely. There will be no 5th character spot. There will be no seasonal characters like that at all. This is all going to be added to the game for everybody. And the new seasonal journey is for everybody, level 1 all the way up to 40. And now the modifiers, I believe, is level 30 and up. But I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure about the modifiers itself, if there's a level cap. But everything season-wise, it's level 1 all the way through. It doesn't matter. Now, as far as the modifiers go, the modifiers, again, will change every season, but it's not just given to you. You have to unlock these modifiers. Now, these modifiers could help boost your damage. It could help boost your whatever, your cooldown, the damage increases, decreases, all of these different things. So, again, you will be able to customize your little shoulder piece here and have up to 4 different modifiers at once. So I'm done with that. The frequently asked question was seasonal characters. Is that going to be on our 5th character? None of that will be in the game. This will all be on your main character. PTS starts tomorrow. You can preload it right now. And all of this will go into effect next season, which is next month. I believe if you look in the game, it says 4 weeks. So this will all happen in the game next month. All right? So hit the like, subscribe, you know the whole spiel. Here is everything the developer said and everything the patch notes have on seasonal modifiers. I am Kamikaze Von Doom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out. And roll that footage.
Okay, cool. So modifiers, and I see some questions in chat in terms of modifiers. So modifiers, you're actually going to find them in your inventory. And you will see that we put that here. So you see now you actually have access to your ISAC brick, and that's going to be where the modifiers sit now moving forward. So when you go in there, you're going to see a whole new screen, which is the season modifier. And so the season modifier is made of 4 things. One, there is the global modifier. And that global modifier is the one you see here. And that global modifier applies throughout the entire content. So when the season is active, the global modifier applies. You can deactivate it if you want. If you really don't like it, or for specific cases, if you want to deactivate it, you can. But as soon as it's activated, this one applies all the time. And this is a straight out bonus for you as a player. So this season, the global modifier is called point blank. And this is one that is working with range. So what we're doing is we're dividing range into 3 zones: blue zone, yellow zone, and red zone. And the further away the enemies are, so the longest or the further zone they are, the higher the damage bonus. So you'll see in short range, in blue zone, you will have 1.2 times, that's an interesting wording, 1.2 times damage. Medium range, so 20%, 35%, 50% damage bonus, depending on which zone there is. So it's a pretty simple, straightforward bonus. But then, of course, it becomes more intricate because we have more modifiers. As I said, so this is the one that applies all the time. Then we have the second type of modifier, which is the active modifier. And this is where we start giving you choice. So these active modifiers are the ones you're going to unlock through the season journey. And these ones are basically an ultimate ability that you can select. So you have to pick one of those 3. And when you trigger that ultimate ability, it will change the way the global modifier behaves. So for example, I'm trying to think which one. This one is the most obvious one, called reversal. When you trigger this one, you swap the bonus ranges. So suddenly, the closer the enemies are, the more damage you do to them. So then it's up to you to actually create builds around that and to see how to make the best use out of that. So you have 3 of them that behave in different ways. So you can also swap them depending on the situation or what type of content you're going to be doing. The idea is that as you progress through the season, and when you've done the whole seasonal journey and enough priority objectives, you will have unlocked all the modifiers. So you get access to the entire kind of toolbox with all the options available. So then you can mix and match them depending with your build, depending on the situations and what you want to do with it. And just to be clear, this whole thing, this whole package of seasonal modifier, this will change with every season. So what you see here, this is what will apply in the next season, in season 2. The season after that, this is going to be a whole different proposition. So this is how we're going to try to bring, fresh experiences with every season, with different types of bonuses and even sometimes maybe things that are not just stat-based, but different type of modifiers and different type of experiences. The third type of modifier is the passive modifier. So that's down there. And those are basically modifiers that change what happens in a range when you have them equipped. Those are not on trigger. They're usually always active. Some of them have trigger conditions, but it's not a button I'm going to press. It's just a bit like a talent. If I do a headshot, this thing happens or whatever. And they're divided in short range, medium range, long range, and some of them are multi-zone. So short range means those modifiers only apply to enemies that are in short range. Those only apply to enemies in medium range and long range. And multi-zones are the ones that apply on all range or that have multi-zone conditions. So I'm not going to go through all of them because it's quite intricate and you know how we are. Sometimes some of those descriptions can be a bit long, so it's going to be up to you to actually figure it out. But once again, you can pick 3 of them, up to 3 of them. So then it's about you combining things with the global modifier, the active modifier you want to use, then the passive modifiers, and the active modifier, when you trigger it, might interact with the passive as well. For example, we have one active modifier that is this one, the active modifier prime time. When you trigger it, all the passive modifiers that are called minor modifier here, but they're going to be called passive modifier eventually, become effective in the medium range. So what that means is that even if you pick some short range or long range ones here. When you trigger your active modifier, they will apply in the medium range. So once again, it's really up to you to theory craft all of this and try to figure out what works best for your playstyle. And then the final type of modifier, that's the one that allows the world to react to you, because all we are doing here is giving you power. We are just making you stronger with all of those modifiers, because pretty much some of them have a bit of a risk reward or a bit of a price to pay. For example, there's one, I don't remember which one it is. Trying to find. Yeah, this one, for example, headshot damage is increased by 150%, but body shots did greatly reduce damage at long range. So this one, for example, you see there is a penalty for using it, but therefore a reward as well. But otherwise, usually they're all pretty much bonuses. So the way we actually make sure that the game still remains challenging and interesting is that we have the final type, which is the one here, which is called the hostile modifiers. And those you do not choose. Those are unlocked from the beginning, and they will unlock as you progress through the season. But these are modifiers that are going to be applied to the NPCs. So these are new abilities that the NPCs will unlock as you progress through the season, and they will basically present a new challenge. So they are also based on range, but this gives NPCs extra abilities or extra bonuses depending on their archetype and on the range that they're in. So this is our way of adding extra challenges that are based on the way the modifier functions to not just make it easier for you, but actually present new types of challenges. And so when you're going to be, replaying missions that you've played a million times, saying the same fire teams spawning as usual, those modifiers are going to be a way to rethink the way you're going to be picking up bad fights, because the way you used to beat them might not work anymore based on those modifiers.
Would you say that it's akin to enemies having talents equipped?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Because each modifier is a bit like a talent, so yeah, it is a bit like that. And for some reason, the description does not show here. It's not that we want to hide it. I'm not sure why it doesn't show, but
it's the PTS build.
It's the PTS build. But hopefully tomorrow you will be able to see them. Otherwise, I'm sure we will have a description available.
Yeah, and also you will be able to see in the open world the enemies that have the active modifier applied to them, because they're going to have an icon on top of the enemy, and not all the enemies that you're going to meet in the open world will have modifiers. Some of them, yes, but not all of them.
One thing, because I see that being discussed in chat, no, the modifiers will not apply in PvP, just to be clear. Because obviously, if this would break things to a degree that is not what we want to do.
Not in PvP and not in Descent.
And not in Descent, yes. I also saw someone here, just to confirm, asking. I didn't catch your name. Sorry, asking if to confirm that this is available on your main character. Yes, they are. As we've said, there are no seasonal characters anymore. So the day this becomes available, you log in with your main character. All of this is available to your main character. You don't have to level a new one.
And also another thing that I would mention, that some of the modifiers, they are mutually exclusive with global events. So you will have to choose if you want to play with the global event settings or if you want to play with the modifiers. You cannot have both at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, because combining them would break the game in ways that we are not comfortable with. So for now, when a global event will be active, you will need to choose if you want to play with the global event or play with your seasonal modifier. What was the next thing?
We need to talk about scouts as well.
Oh, yeah, manhunts. Okay. So the last element in here...
as rewards as well. So completing some of these missions might give you a new modifier that you can use. And they did show this in the gameplay, and I'll add it as well, that the seasonal modifiers is a completely different part of your inventory now. So you will be able to change, the brick, the BRIC that's on your shoulder that has the little ring on it. You're going to be able to change that during this new season, okay? So you're going to be able to add modifiers, take away modifiers, all of that. You will be able to have 4 modifiers at a time. One will be a passive modifier that will be active throughout the entire season. And then the additional 3 modifiers, you will be able to unlock and add them to your character. This is huge. All right. And speaking of which, let's start talking about these seasonal modifiers, because this is a big, big change to the game. This will change everything in the game, excluding PvP. You will not be able to use this in PvP. You will be able to use the modifiers in the raid, yes. You will be able to use the modifiers in the incursion, yes. And you will be able to use the modifiers in the summit, countdown, and legendary content, yes. You will not be able to use modifiers in PvP. You will not be able to use modifiers in Descent. They strictly said those areas, no modifiers. But everywhere else, they kept stressing yes. Okay? So let's talk about these modifiers. The seasonal modifiers are central to each season's unique gameplay, spicing up the usual rules and mechanics of the game. There are 4 different types of modifiers, each playing a crucial role in shaping your experience. So like I said, you will have 4 different mod slots for your modifier, okay? Your modifier will be on your shoulder brick, that will be on your character. You will have 4 different spots to add different modifiers. You will have a global modifier, like I said, that is your passive modifier that will be there forever. You will have your active, passive, hostile. So those are your 4. So your global modifier, your active, your passive, and your hostile. So first up, we have our global modifiers. So set the overall theme of the season and are active at all times when the system is enabled, affecting the gameplay loop. In the first season, the theme is range. So this global modifier will be on everybody's characters at all times. Now, the first global modifier will be range. It will not be range every single season, just for this first one. And it says that the global modifier will be called breakpoint, and it will grant bonus damage based off of the range you are from that enemy. Next up, we have active modifiers. So the global modifier will not change. You can change the other modifiers. Active modifiers will function like ultimate abilities, giving a character a short boost of damage or burst of power. Players can choose from a selection of active modifiers. Remember, they said it's around 20 modifiers that we'll be able to choose from. So you'll have 20 different options, and then you can just choose whatever modifiers work for you. Now it says here for the first season, they can manipulate the range zones for the global modifier. So this active modifier will help alter your global modifier. Next up, we have passive modifiers. Now this will work in conjunction with the global modifier, adding more bonuses. So players can equip up to 3 passive modifiers simultaneously. In the first season, these modifiers will provide additional benefits based on the range for the global modifier. So you can tweak the range with the active modifier and then boost your damage with the passive modifier. And then finally, we have hostile modifiers. So you thought we were the only ones with modifiers. Oh no, the hostiles have modifiers too. So it says here that these represent how the enemies adapt to your new abilities. As players progress through the season, enemies will gradually gain new abilities linked to specific enemy types, forcing you to use global, passive, and active modifiers strategically to counter them. The modifier system can be disabled at any time and is mutually exclusive with global events, allowing players to control how they engage with the seasonal challenges. I know that was a lot to talk about. I understand this was a lot of information, okay? But essentially, I'm going to have to put this on during the live stream tomorrow and just show you. It's a lot of information. I fully understand. But this is a completely different system, completely new to the game, and they are just throwing it all at us like a fire hose. So you're just going to have to, you know, you're just going to have to sit there and just try to take in all the information as it's coming at you. So next up, we have the priority.